Okay.
All right. All right. My name's Kyle, and today I'll be talking about intermittent fasting. It's a new type of diet, not relatively new, but an alternative to your 5-6 meal diet, and it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get started. This is intermittent fasting. As you can see, these are pretty much the results that you'll be able to get from it. 6-pack abs, pretty much standard. So you work 9 to 5, it sucks, your boss is a jerk, you just want to get home, get to a nice dinner, nice meal. But instead of one meal, you can have 3. So we're going to go one step further and say that you can look and feel better about yourself as well as lose body fat on this diet. So let's get to it. The history of it pretty much started with the Neanderthals. Neanderthals were the humans who were grazed throughout the day on nuts and berries and then hunted and looked for a meal at night. And then moved on to Ori, and Ori started the warrior diet. The warrior diet is 20 hours of fasting with eating your nuts and berries and fruits, and then 4 hours of actually eating solid meals in large portions of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Move on. First, before I get a little bit deeper into it, I'll tell you about myself. I started intermittent fasting about 2 years ago. I've been working out for 8 years. I transformed my body from 18% body fat down to 8%, as well as gaining muscle and feeling a lot better about myself, pretty much. I am a talking and walking testimony to intermittent fasting. Today I will teach you the principles of intermittent fasting and the benefits that come with it. I'll give you some background information which I already have, pretty much give you a basic overview, and then debunk the 5-6 meal plan that you've all heard about and explain the benefits of intermittent fasting. So I already talked about the history, gave a little bit of credit to the founders. Ori was the warrior diet, and Martin was intermittent fasting. So let's break it down to the overview. Simple overview, you have 2 phases. You have the fasting phase, which Martin changed from 20 hours to 18 hours, but he said without any fruits, nuts, or vegetables. So you're just fasting alone. And then you start your feeding window, which is 6 hours when you get home. In those 3 meals, you're going to meet your caloric requirements. Depends on your body type and what you want to do, but you can either lose fat, maintain, or gain muscle on this program. It's pretty much diverse. Let's see. So the 6-hour window includes those 3 meals, like I said, and in those 3 meals you meet your calories and your macros, which are your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. The 3 basic guidelines I'm going to give y'all, pretty simple, pretty easy, but the first one isn't really a guideline, it's more of what you need to have. And what you need to have is this scale. It's going to help you pretty much portion out what you're about to eat and figure out how many calories, protein, fats, and carbs are in that. Many people don't know how much a 6-ounce chicken breast looks like or weighs and offhand, so you really need this to figure that out. The second guideline would be to eat whole and unprocessed foods. You won't want to get solid foods because it's going to be beneficial to you more than liquids. Liquids are alright, but it's going to be more satisfying to eat something. And then we'll move on to debunking the 5-6 meal plan. It does not increase metabolism as many people think, but the British Journal of Nutrition states that it's actually total food intake that matters. So if you split it up into 5-6 meals, you're going to lose your macronutrients because people think a meal is a Cliff Bar when really it should include your proteins, fats, and carbs. And then on that 5 to 6 meals, people think they can snack throughout the day, you know, maybe a piece of candy, a chip, you know, it's not much, but it adds up at the end of the day. And what they do is they create a surplus of calories and they gain weight instead of losing it. And then they're like, oh, dieting sucks, you know, I don't know what went wrong. And it's really snacking. I mean, snacking adds up. So the benefits of intermittent fasting is the convenience factor. The convenience factor, like I said, you can skip breakfast. Well, you have to skip breakfast because you don't want to break the fast. And then you skip lunch and you focus on dinner. And dinner is the 3 meals like I've talked about before. And then when you combine fitness into the equation, you can add muscle and lose body fat relatively quickly. Closing thoughts. Intermittent fasting is an interesting and alternative diet to your normal 5 to 6 meal or any other diet, but I figured I'd introduce it today to y'all. When it's combining with working out, it accelerates your fat loss. And then the quote by Mark, each time you eat properly, remind yourself that you're not only giving yourself the energy needed for optimal performance, but you're also investing in your long-term health. To say nothing of helping yourself feel and look better. And the last slide, which I'll show you, and my conclusion is the testimony of myself. On the left, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when I first started working out. On the right is today. Not necessarily today, but I think I look a little bit better. 2 years ago is when I started the intermittent fasting, and that's when the cuts, the muscles actually started showing. Because I was big and bulky, and then I cut down, lost the body fat, and the muscles started to show. So that's pretty much intermittent fasting in a nutshell. I hope y'all enjoyed. Any other questions y'all have, you can talk to me. And then that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.